Welcome everybody. Welcome to the Ascend Tournament Series main stream. Hopefully you're all doing well. My camera's not working. Give me a moment. What the issue is. There we go. Now it's working. Welcome everybody. Hopefully you're all doing well. I'm Spotty FC. You've joined us here for some Paradise Cup 3 action. This is the Paradise Cup 3 Ultimate Division Round 3. One of the last matches of the first stage of our Ultimate Division in our Paradise Cup 3 action. So we are here for a lot of fun and for some more Rocket League. As all of you know, Paradise Cup is a crew battles format, meaning you'll get to see every single game mode, basically all three game modes of 1s, 2s, and 3s utilized, as well as a whole lot more. For now, though, we're just preparing for upcoming matchup here, which will be Torrent Gelion taking on Wyffer Wet Jets. The Wet Jets, a top tier team, one of the top teams from our last season's Apex Cups. I think they made a top 4 finish. Torrent Gelion, a newer roster, but of the newer Torrent organization. This is the first time Torrent's actually played in the Ascend Tournament Series. We'll have to see how they do tonight, but for both these teams, they've already guaranteed a top 8 finish. The thing is, though, the winner of this will guarantee not just a top 8 finish, a top 6 finish, and an extra life to start off our final bracket. Right now, it's a round-robin stage when the last round of the round. And that means for both these teams, they're both guaranteed their top 8 spot in that final bracket. It's an AFL-style bracket, though, so first seed out of each group will get an extra life in the upper bracket for their first series. The team that loses will have to play with only 1 life throughout the entirety of that bracket. It's going to be a tough run for all these teams, but hey, if you get a win here, you get yourself an extra life. You're going to start in the upper portion of that AFL-style bracket. Now, the thing about it is, if they win, they will go down to 1 life, but if they lose, you get an extra life. And in those final brackets, it's very tough for teams to adapt, so getting an extra life in your first match really helps you. You guarantee that you will get to play at least 2 series. So very much useful for all the rosters here to well, get yourself off to a good start here in this matchup, as get things started momentarily here. Again, Torrent Gelion for Wet Jets. Again, the Wet Jets, a roster that actually has won in the Ascend Tournament Series before. They won Ascend Tournament Series, I think it was Season 2 Apex Cup, so a team that's very much got a good history in the Ascend Tournament. If we're talking about last season's performance, the Apex Cup, they made it to the final bracket and made it to top 4 before losing to the eventual winners in the Evil Buggers in a 4-0 sweep. This is a slightly different Wet Jets team, though. It is Armor J and Moose, but they've actually have Wavy instead of Muffin playing, so a slightly different roster. On the side of Torrent, this is a roster of Averted, Knave, and July, very much reminiscent of the Team Evo Exiled matchup. Get things going momentarily. Give us a moment. We'll get things going momentarily here. I'm just trying to talk to these players, see how they're doing. Again, it is Birded, Knave, well as July. Again, I believe they're part of the Team Evo Exiled roster in ATS Season 4. They're also in the Apex Cup, made a top 8 finish, losing to 100x Mizuki in the finals. But yeah, Birded, Knave, and July, all part starters on that Evo Exiled roster. So they moved. So it's a roster that we all know. They just moved orgs. It's a different name, but still the same players and still a very good team. So I'm excited to see how this match will go. This is a best of 5 crew battles matchup, so start with 3v3. We'll move on to move throughout the series. Remind you, this is where a guarantees top 6 spot, and to end off your group stage, your first stage, with a nice little 3-0 record, technically, or 2-0 record against all opponents. Remember, every team guaranteed a 1-0 record, at least by a bye week, so against all other opponents, though, it would be 2-0. Again, at this point for these teams, not much to say about game differential. Wyffer Wet Jets did sweep both their opponents, and Striker Vroom as well, again, as their bye match, but Gelion having to go to Game 5 against Striker to get a win as well. That match was last week. Had Torrent lost, they would have to guarantee a win here against the Wet Jets to give themselves a chance. Fortunately, they won't have to worry about that, so they'll get a nice match here to for themselves. There is really no major risk at this point. You lose, you're still in that final bracket. You just have to play from lowers on day 1. You are wondering when that final bracket is happening. Well, it's just around the corner, actually, here for the Excellence. Sorry, this is Excellence, or this is Ultimate. May 31st, June 1st. So literally a week from now, we will be when that match happens. When their matches continue again. So they're gonna have quite a impressive time here as well. I'm excited to see how these players are going to perform. It's going to be an amazing series. Again, give it a few moments. We are waiting on these rosters. I think they're running a little bit late. But we are in no rush. This is the only match today for ATS on the ATS mainstream. So, to all of you who are joining, thank you so much. Again, we'll get things up and running shortly here. Again, I'd say best of 5. Part of a couple different teams that have already guaranteed their spots in this division. 2 other teams that have done it is KG Chaos Portable Document Format, Esports, and Wyffer version 2. The only group where we don't know the top 2 teams out of it is Group A, which is the Vagabond, Knight, and Team Evo Academy group. We will have to see which of those teams will make it. Vagabond and Evo Academy do play each other later. I'm going to try to stream that match, hopefully, because that match will determine who will be the top 2 teams. Academy and Vagabond could both switch places. So there's 1 spot left. Knight's guaranteed a spot. But Vagabond and Academy have not. They could switch, depending on how their series goes. So again, once that match is scheduled, hopefully I'll be able to stream it. I'd love to stream that series. It's a good matchup. Apparently, considering that group's very close, and Vagabond just beat 100x Knight, which were the groups. So, we'll see. But yeah, I'm excited to see how this match will go. This is going to be a amazing series, hopefully. Gelion, as well as for Wet Jets. Well, right now we are waiting on Wyffer. Seems like they're having some delays. Maybe they weren't exactly ready. Maybe they're doing some more maps. We'll wait. We'll give them some time. They will be here in just a moment. This is going to be a good match. I am excited to see how things will go here. There we go. In comes Armor J, Moose, and Wavy. So they are here after all. And again, it's a slight difference. Wet Jets team, their roster isn't changing, from what I heard. I think this is just for this event. So they're going to hope that the removal of Muffin for this event, adding in Wavy, will help them out. So far it has. Helped both these teams. Their rosters have been pretty solid so far. They both guaranteed top 8 spots. Now it's about being able to do a little bit better as we're going to go right into this match. Whoa, I'm on the report screen. And there we go. Overlay's not up. What happened to the overlay? Oh, no. 1 sec. Oh, this happens every single time. The overlay. There we go. This is, again, round 3. My apologies. I don't know why the overlay... It does that a lot. So we're in. It is Torrent to score first. They're on the blue. Wyffer Wet Jets on the orange. And Torrent Gelion will take goal 1 as it will be courtesy of Knave, who will just lock this one in. As simple as they get, don't they? Hey, you'll take any goal you can get at this point. Any good goal you can get at this point. Just take it as you can. Good start for Torrent. 1 goal closer to a top 6 guaranteed spot and an extra life in the final bracket. We have not done an AFL-style bracket in ATS since ATS Season 3. So it's a bracket that a lot of these players will probably recognize since ATS Season 3 wasn't too long ago, but we haven't done it in a little while. A lot of these players, they're going to be... Well, the last bracket they played in, the ATS Season 4 final bracket, was single elimination, so a very different bracket indeed. There is something to play for here, and Torrent Gelion really showing that here. 2 goals already in Game 1. We start in 3v3s. Reminder that the loser of this game will get to choose between 1v1 and 2v2 for the second game of this series. Well, a lot to play for here. It's Torrent. We'll leave this one. The Wet Jets will have their first major attack upfield. And I know this Wet Jets team, they're actually pretty good at ones and twos. It's a surprisingly very well-rounded roster. So, for Torrent, every game matters for this roster. This Wet Jets team. I mean, everybody knows this team for 3v3, but they're very good at twos. They're very good at ones. They're good. They're a talented roster at all these game modes. So, it's going to be very tough to win matches against this team because no matter what game mode you're playing, there's really no weak game mode for the Wet Jets. 3v3 start is not exactly doing well for them here as Torrent, remind you, made top 8 in the Apex Cup. They never played the Wet Jets, though. To my knowledge, I don't think they ever played the Wet Jets, even going into that final bracket. They lost that top 8, whereas the Wet Jets made it to top 4. So this Wet Jets roster very good at threes, but really feels like the first time we get to see these rosters play against each other in our history here. And Torrent really making sure that they try to get on top early here as July keeps it up in the air. Moose will clear it back. Wavy chase from behind, still wins that challenge. Off the back wall. Will be played to the midfield as here goes Armor J. Unable to put it in. And Torrent Gelion will get rid of another as it's left for Moose. Knave wins that challenge. Might be free! It will be! A huge challenge from Knave. And Torrent continue to score. Game 1 is all in their favor. And that goal from Knave, the epitome of what we've been seeing so far. Not much is slowing this team down. And I don't expect that to change anytime soon. Fly. Challenged by Moose. Averted. Will be won by Armor J as in comes Knave again. Torrent. Knave looking for another from the same angle. And he's got 2 from that same spot. 3 in total this game already. Torrents have prepared. And my goodness, this 3v3 is a mode that Wyffer Wet Jets are definitely known for. Torrent's got them beat right now. Wavy will go again. Averted. July was going to be one out by Armor J as Knave clears it back. Torrent's got room as July in the air. Flip reset. Will be one. It's almost another one in as nobody from the Wet Jets was covering that front post. Could have been a 5-0 scoreline here in Game 1. Could still be that way as July with open room will not miss that second touch. And Torrent Gelion. Man, this is a beatdown in Game 1. And the Wet Jets. I mean, this is a top-tier roster that's never missed I think at least a top 6 finish in ATS 3v3 history. It's a Torrent Gelion roster that themselves so well known. At least all these players have been around for a while, but this exact roster has been successful in for a good many couple places. They've been around for a while. Again, just made top 8 in the Apex Cup last season. Man, they're really putting that recent success to work here as it is Knave. Challenged by Moose. Averted. To the back wall. Wavy. The new addition for the Wet Jets just for this tournament. Will win out that challenge as here goes July. That's not really what she was looking for. He wanted to pinch it off the back wall into the midfield. Instead, it is left for the Wet Jets to take. They won't get very far with this one. As Armor J straight at net. Double commit though from Torrent as July got boxed by his own teammate. Will still go for this one. Wavy, bump on Knave, averted, gets the save. Here comes Armor J, and it's a goal back for the Wet Jets. No stopping, no slowing down. Wyffer Wet Jets with a goal back in Game 1. It may be too little too late to come back. I actually don't think it's too little yet. But even in the very likely chance they don't win this game, at least they score something. You do not want to get shut out in Game 1. It can really escalate throughout the rest of this series. I mean, you don't get to play these modes and really get comfortable to any of them for any period of time. because it keeps changing every game mode. So, you know, for these rosters, every game is gonna feel like a new series, a new beginning. So tough to get comfortable. So for the Wet Jets, just getting something, not letting themselves get too far away from the Torrent side will help them out immensely here, as it's now 5-2. They've just got a second goal. Torrent, well, may have had a little bit more of a hiccup at the end of this game here. The Wet Jets have finally put some heat into their play. This is a little bit more like we expect from the Wet Jets on 3v3 action. Fast moving, all about passing plays. I was surprised that Torrent was going to take such a grandiose lead early in this one, but hey, they will keep a pretty strong lead even by the end of this game. It is a 3-goal difference, and that does not look like it's changing. Torrent Gelion will win out in Game 1. For Game 2, the one question now is, what game mode do the Wet Jets pick? I know this is a roster that actually likes their 1s and 2s, so wouldn't be surprised if they pick 1s here. Considering that I think they've done it almost every single time so far, but they have picked 1v1 after losing that first game. They are going to pick 1s as expected, so no surprise here. I'm almost certain it's going to be Moose as well that shows up. He's been playing their 1v1 games. He did it when they played in their last series. And he's a good 1v1 player. He's a player that I never thought was ever going to be good at 1s, but I knew he was good. He was a good player. Did not think he was a 1v1 player, but I can tell you, Moose is very scary at 1s. He's a good player. And he's going to be someone that, for Torrent, they're going to have a tough time meeting with. We'll see who they play. It's likely going to be July. He's definitely their best 1v1 type player. We could be in for a pretty high-scoring matchup, considering who is showing up here, Moose and July. It depends if these teams decide to go that way, but I'd be surprised if they didn't in Game 2 here. And actually, they're going to pick Wavy for 1v1, so change up here. I'm almost certain it was Moose who played for them before. I could be wrong, but it is going to be Wavy showing up, taking on July, so they're going to keep Moose and Armor J together for the 2v2 game mode later. So Wavy's playing instead. That's a bit of a change-up. I did not think they'd have Wavy, because I know he's played 2s as well. This just shows you the kind of versatility that this roster has, that virtually anybody can fit anywhere. Wavy, and a Batmobile as well. It's a odd car choice for 1v1s, but it's a car I actually really like to play in, but it can be a little awkward for 1s because you don't exactly have easy control with that car. That's not a car that's meant to dribble the ball very easily, so that's the one thing Wavy's going to have issues with, is going to be control. The benefit, though, is that this car, it's giant. It is a big car, and it's got a lot of power behind his touches, so if he goes for long shots, he's going to be in good business with that Batmobile, but for now, July really making things awkward, taking those challenges, taking those dribbles, doing everything that Wavy really can't defend against easily in that car. But Wavy, here's his chance, and there's his lick, and I said it! This car is a powerful one! If you can control it right, your shots can be pretty tough to stop, and Wavy will score first. So a strong start for Wavy on Wyffer Wet Jets. Reminder, this is the call that the Wet Jets made, so this is, in theory, this is the game mode they're the most comfortable in, and well, maybe they were right, because Wavy's got a second one. And he just absolutely rushed that challenge. And July never turned his camera to see him. So he was, I think, completely caught off there by Wavy just going in front of his camera. He never had time to really react for it in the first place, as now it is 3 goals from Wavy. Boy, oh boy, this is a bad start for July. Mind that, 2v2 modes up next. And considering who's going to be playing in that, Armor J and Moose, they're pretty good. Again, as I said, I know this Wet Jets team, they're very well rounded. It's going to be tough to take games against this team. But for Torrent, still a lot of time left in this 1v1 game mode just to get things going as July. This could be a great chance to score his first goal, and it will be just that, as Wavy will not get back in time. July saw Wavy well out of position there. Wavy went for full boost and got caught doing so. Now July, a kickoff will go in his favor. Wavy can't get back in time. And that's now 2 for July up the one up the kickoff, one off a quick break. And now he's only 1 goal away from tying this one. That's how quickly these games can turn around. One's just such a volatile game mode, especially if you're a player that has an emotional issue with ones, because one's is such an emotionally driven game. It means that any real lead can be eliminated at any point, it feels like, because we're trying to go for a quick shot. July will catch it. That's a great setup for July to go for a solo effort, and you know he's going to do that. Reset to net. No chance on that one. Free again. And it is July, 3 goals straight. Wavy could not stop him. And the great start that Wavy had, kind of playing that fast style. Now July is taking, again, a lot of 50-50s. He's, more importantly, winning the kickoff. That beefy car of the Octane is so good for challenges, so good for 50-50s. And if he wins that kickoff, he's going to have first strike. And July's not missing. He's 4 for 5 right now. And if a player just isn't missing, the last thing you want to do is let them win the kickoff and have that first chance to score. He'll win yet another kickoff here. This card choice for Wavy, starting to show us why the Batmobile is not a very common choice for 1v1s. It's another one in a row. July's got 5 straight now. And I said it's going to be a high-scoring game. We've got 8 goals already, and we have not gone through 2 minutes of gameplay. We'll be here for a while, I'm almost certain. Here's Wavy. He's got a kickoff win here. Hasn't had a lot this game, as that one just trying to test July's defense and, more importantly, make July use boost. But man, July still has a lot in the tank, and he's got a goal in front. Wavy will get there in time. He might just go for this too. July saw it coming. Wave dash to the ground, to the goal. 6-3. He's doubled the output of Wavy. Perfect recoveries from July too. He didn't have a lot to begin with. That is a perfect wave dash. Using a little bit of power slide too. It's easy to wave dash and think you don't need to do anything else to recover, but the tip is not just using wave dash, it's using wave dash as well as that power slide so that you don't spin out of control. Great job from July to take that goal. Unfortunately, it's now a kickoff win for Wavy, and he'll get a goal back. And the Wet Jets now looking to make their comeback. It was 6 goals straight for Torrent, Gelion. The Wet Jets now trying to take 3 goals straight to tie this game again. And Wavy, on a roll here, has a great chance to flick. Will go well over the net though. July didn't even have to jump for it. Wavy, I mean, he had a great setup to go right behind, and I think that's what he wanted to as well. Trying to flick behind July's challenge. Instead, that flat car put a little bit too much power on his shot. He'll keep going though. Oh, that's an overcommit in July. He saw that coming, never even went for it. He knew Wavy completely gave himself away there. And when you overcommit like that, you have to put your shots on target. And not just on target, but in a way where that defender is forced to make a tough save. That wasn't even on target. It's gonna be a 3-goal lead re-established by July. He'll look to get the bump on Wavy. Won't be able to do so. We'll make things awkward though. That's off the sidewall. Wavy, solo effort, but had to slow down. Looking for, I think it was meant to be an air dribble bump, but July never went for it. And now Wavy's got to play defense. July's got boost. He'll go across the goal. Oh, but he's giving Wavy boost there. He can't go for this one. Oh, but Wavy, man, he could have done a lot better on that shot. He's now giving July another chance to go for a solo effort. And this one, flip reset. Already scored 1. Musty flick, saved away. He doesn't have boost here. Went for a little bit of the fancy plays, and Wavy, oh, he missed. That should have been a 5th goal for Wavy. He still has possession, but he's going to be careful not to get bumped out of the way here. As July will not win this challenge, this will be goal 5. Wavy may have missed his first chance. He will not miss his second. And with this time winding down, the scoring has slowly but surely decreased, but the goals are still quite high. This game is getting quite close. 81 seconds to go. July's only leading by 2. This is not an easy lead to hold. But he will try to add another. Maybe just got enough on that one. July running away here. Wavy's chasing after him. Looking for any late on that ball he can get. As July reset. Wavy recognizing that fake will go to ground. July still has it, but he's giving it away. Wavy whiffed it. It's open for July. He can't score here though. And it will be Wavy to clear. No boost to work with though. July will win that challenge. That's a huge miss for Wavy. He had an open chance the other way, could not take it. And eventually July will score again. In July, he missed the shot in that offensive chance. Wavy honestly should have probably scored there. And now with a lot less time to go. Only 45 seconds, 3/4 of a minute. For Wavy to come back. Whilst Torrent Gelion will have a 2-0 series lead. As July again will tank the challenge. Takes another one as well. Wavy. Waiting. Man, he can't really wait that long though, as a long shot will be kept out. July can waste even more time. Reset. Wavy can't go. Will get the block, but that's just going to waste precious seconds off the clock. As he'll go again. July waiting. Making Wavy give up the play here. 10 seconds. Wavy trying to do anything he can, but he can't get July out of the way. That shot's saved. Follow-up chance will go in the net, but it is too little, too late for Wavy. With 2 seconds to go, July has staved off the attack from Wavy long enough. And this should be a 2-0 lead for Torrent in the series. And it will be. We go to Game 3 where Torrent Gelion can win this series in a sweep. So far in the Paradise Cup, most of our matches have ended in sweeps, especially in the Ultimate Division, where there's much higher rank gaps between the players. And yet I didn't think this was going to be one of those matches, and yet we are at the point where it could be. Game 3 up next, and Torrent. One more game is all they need. They've got 3 chances to win this series. Winning that 1v1, that was huge for them. That's the game I think the Wet Jets are best in. Never been confident in that game mode. Maybe they're best in 3s, but they're definitely confident in their 1's ability. That's really going to hurt. Specifically, it's going to hurt the Wet Jets. It's really going to hurt Wavy. This format really is one where if you lose that 1v1, you rarely ever see players recover easily. So for Wavy, I'm going to be really interested in how he recovers for the rest of this series. As we don't have name tags, there we go. Game 3 now. Wet Jets now need to win 3 straight just to guarantee a top 6 spot. If they don't, they're still in that final bracket, but they have to play with only 1 life for the entirety of it. They'd have to win 4 matches in a row. That is not an easy thing to do, and not exactly something I would expect myself to do. You need every goal you can get, as Armor J will score first here off the pass from Wavy. July completely out of position, just pushed up too close to the play. In that position, he's not covering the middle of the field, just covering to the plate to the corner. And the Wet Jets recognize that quite quickly here as Wavy, that's a huge confidence booster. It's a great start for him as well. It's a beautiful pass. He's going to really need to keep doing that to kind of remove any hopes, any suspicions that that 1v1 may have hurt him mentally here. As I said, it's so tough to recover. Rarely do we see players, after losing the 1v1, able to really look like themselves like they were earlier in the series. But more and more, I'm starting to see players who have better mentalities towards these 1v1 game modes. A big deal, as it will be cleared back. Moose. Challenged by Averted. Knave won't get there in time as Armor J will leave it for Wavy. July. And low boost here for the Wet Jets as July will leave it for Averted. Moose has enough to go, but doesn't have enough to really make anything happen. Double commit though for Torrent as a pass will go absolutely nowhere. Armor J didn't want that pass. And now things really getting a little awkward for the Wet Jets as maybe we'll slow things down, but still challenged here as July gonna break a hole here. We'll go in the midfield. Wavy didn't get a piece of it, but won't need to. Nobody from Torrent wanted to go for the ball. Now they've all wanted to go. It's a triple commit. Averted keeps this one away. Now Torrent, not the strong start they had in game 1. It's a much tougher game now as Moose. Oh, it's wide open. It is second for Wavy. 1 assist and 1 goal. And for Torrent, not the start they wanted. This is a Wet Jets team that's now very much warmed up after that game 1. This could be a much longer series. Averted. The reset. The Knave, who is up next to the back wall. Wavy. Not an easy read to make, but he has enough there as that shot from July could have been a whole lot better. Wavy still on the play. Knave stands tall, and that net's wide open! Moose left the play at the wrong time! And for Moose, I mean, he's not in a bad spot here, but I don't know what makes him think he can go up to the mid-boost there. He left the net wide open, and you just can't do that. Averted. Dave to the back wall. Wavy. Oh, he was in the wrong spot there. He really didn't have much to do there, but Torrent gave up that chance. They had a great chance to shoot there. Gonna go wide and away, and a chance to tie this game will go asking. As Knave, well, another one. Oh, Wavy whiffed this one, and so did July. Torrent another. Where you really feel like they should be scoring. Now it's to the back wall. Wavy, not there. Armor J to block, but in comes July! And it's wide open! Tied at 2. The lead from the Wet Jets has been erased by Torrent Gelion. And 1 game away from winning this series in a sweep. Torrent needs to score maybe 1 or 2 more times here. They feel like they have this game, but that's an overcommit. It is Armor J and Wavy to put it in. And they've had their issues with double commits this game. I can't deny that. As I mean, July, he has that challenge. But didn't trust him, or maybe didn't expect him to jump. That position, communication really is what separates you from doing that and from making the right decision. Torrent, that communication has been an issue all game. It will continue to be an issue for them as long as this game stays this close. As July push up field, Armor J will win that challenge, or more rather win the ball, as now it goes averted. July with room to the back wall. Armor J is waiting. Averted. But first touch will stay on. This is a flick over 1. 2-on-1 play. Moose doesn't have it. Knave, he's missed the net. July trying to tuck this one in, but the angle's too tough. Torrent running low on time. Only 1 minute to go. Now they really gotta get themselves moving. As July, Moose, averted. Doesn't have the nets in sight. Now is July. He'll lose the challenge to Moose. Armor J will keep things moving as the Wet Jets move the chains up the field. It is Moose again. Wavy, everybody up for the Wet Jets here. Armor J still can shoot. Torrent playing patiently, but time is running low for them. They have to start getting out of defense. They gotta start moving soon. The corner they go, just waiting. Torrent still choosing to play this rather slow, and well, now they only have 10 seconds left. Averted. Dave doesn't have it. Missed it. Oh, it's there. Averted ties it. It's a miss off the corner from Armor J. It's a play he almost always makes, but this time he misjudged it. 9 times out of 10 he's making that one, but this is that rare occasion he doesn't. And it's Torrent with a gift from the Wyffer Wet Jets. Now look to go to overtime. 1 goal away from winning this series in a sweep. Torrent Gelion just needs one more good play. The Wet Jets, who keep their hopes of a top 6 finish guaranteed alive, is where they have to start scoring. But it's open in front. Nave, stopped by July. Moose, he can't get there! And Averted wins it for Torrent Gelion in overtime. 3 games straight. They sweep the Wet Jets and will guarantee a spot in the upper portion of the AFL bracket on next Saturday, May 31st. For the Wet Jets, they'll start in lowers. Torrent, a huge victory. Sweeping the Wet Jets is no easy feat. They've done it here tonight. That means they'll be in that upper portion. So for them, oh boy, what a tense series it had to be for them. But they got the wins they were needing. 3 games was all they needed. But for Torrent, man, a tough battle. But you gotta give credit, that is huge for this roster. As we'll get Averted to join us here. Welcome in, Averted. How you doing? Thank you for joining us for this interview. 3-0 is the final scoreline of the match tonight. You guys now guarantee a spot in the top 6 in that final bracket, as well as a portion, as well as an extra life for your first match in the AFL bracket. Averted, that's a big victory against the Wyffer Wet Jets. How you feeling?
Pretty good. Although, Muffin wasn't there, of course. I going into this, this whole event you have going on here, and saw they were in our group. I was kind of excited to play them 3. But seeing Wavy, we kind of knew they weren't going to be as strong as they normally are. And we just took advantage of that. But either way, it feels good, and always feels good to beat people, and have fun with it. So,
Of course, here. As a July as well, I mean, 3-0, upper bracket. This is a weird format, but I mean the Wet Jets, I think they're most comfortable in is 3s and 1s. You guys made that look good. Talk to me about the 1v1 game. You have to play it as well against Wavy. Do you have a fan going on in the background?
What? Oh, yeah, a little bit. Sorry.
Sounds like a paper shredder. I'm not joking. sounds like the paper shredder I have downstairs. But no, in all seriousness, you have to play that 1v1 mode against Wavy. This Wet Jets team's pretty comfortable with 1s. I mean, Wavy's good at 1s. Moose is good at 1s. I mean, but you yourself are a pretty solid 1v1 player. Talk to me about that 1v1 mode. It was close. You went down early, but my goodness, that you rallied back in the middle point of that game. That felt like a very tense 1v1. Most of these 1v1s are generally one-sided, but this wasn't. Under pressure in these 1v1 game modes, what do you tell yourself to kind of keep yourself moving forward? Because in these 1s matches, I mean, little mistakes are all that makes the difference.
Yeah, well, especially like when it comes to what I'm telling myself to like stay like locked and stay confident, kind of like also depends on like what kind of player I'm playing. And then when I was down 3 to like, in my opinion, I was kind of making like little stupid mistakes that were kind of giving him free goals. I realized he's quite an aggressive 1s player where sometimes I like to sit there, kind of take my time, do my thing on the ball. But I saw against a player like that, I'm just not going to be able to do that. So it's like, all right, got to lock it in. Just got to try and speed it up a little bit because he's going to be there at every turn, which he was for the whole entire game. He's a very good 1s player, very, very fast, very like on the ball, annoying, which is very good for 1s. So I just kept telling myself that I just had to keep my eye on him and just to not slow down. Because if I slowed down, I was either going to like get demoed or he was just going to 50 it past me and score, which he did 3 times. I'm pretty sure I was down like 0-3 at the start of the game. But stayed confident, just kept my eye on him, and was locked in, and it went perfect for me, honestly.
Of course, as you guys await the top 4 teams here that are going to be in that top 6 position, you guys been, you're not a new roster here. You used to be Team Evo Exiled, moved to Torrent, now as Torrent Gelion. But of course, that hybrid bracket, you get an extra life. You guys have been in this kind of bracket before. Back in ATS Season 3, I'm almost certain you guys were in the final bracket as well during then. This is a bracket where you get an extra life in that upper portion. How much does that extra life matter to you, Verdi? Does it matter at all? Do you guys really care about it? Or do you guys just want to win just to make sure that you get the best first match you can?
I want to say it doesn't really matter because, regardless, we're going to win. There's only really one team in this whole thing that we're kind of like, edging on. We say we really are going to have a really hard time beating, that being 100x Knight. Anyone other than that, I don't really know that much, but just looking at the names, not really anyone scary. So it doesn't really matter all that much unless we, of course, get them in our first round, which I don't think will happen. But yeah, it actually appears they've lost, so Vagabond's
They did
pretty
lost
good
to
team too,
Vagabond.
so-
Vagabond's pretty solid. I will say, there's a very good chance they do make that number 1 seed, especially if Vagabond loses to Evo Academy. It would be Knight taking that number 1 spot. But yeah, you mentioned Knight, how scared they are. It's a team that just won a Pinnacle Cup, so I know that where the nerves come from here. But again, you guys are ready for anyone. Of course, that playoff bracket is going to be a week from now, May 31st, the first day. You get 2 days of action over that weekend. You got to play Saturday and then Sunday. July, what's the mentality that this team's going to bring going into that final bracket? I always ask teams, what are you feeling? What are you thinking going into that final bracket? What is this team thinking going into that final bracket? What's the kind of the end goal? What's the ideas that you guys have?
Well, obviously our end goal is to win. I mean, that's obvious, but I mean, especially on a roster like this, like we're good at every game mode, especially so I feel like we'll thrive in it in like a tournament style like this with crew battles, because like we have Knave and Averted that are just a monster duo in 2s, and I'd like to say I'm pretty good at 1s. I can hold my own in 1s against, I would say, pretty good opponents. So I usually play up to people. So the better the opponent, honestly, I feel like I play better. And then I just honestly, I think like going into this, I don't think we're losing. No matter what players are in front of us, no matter what 3 players we're versing, I think we're winning. I'm full 100% confident that we take this whole thing without losing.
I love that confidence from you too as well. So again, congrats on your win. A field sweep over the Wyffer Wet Jets. The Torrent Gelion roster trying to continue their streak of winning different tournaments. I know you guys have won a lot of tournaments outside of the Ascent Tournament Series. But of course, good luck into that. Before you go into tops, before you guys again get to wait to see who you will play in that upper bracket, we gotta get some shoutouts here. So let's start with July. Do you have any shoutouts? Any final messages before you guys kind of leave and go prepare for what will be a very exciting final bracket?
Oh boy, do I have shout outs. First off, gotta shout out my amazing team that I have here. Averted, the GOAT. Knave, the GOAT. Don't know where I'd be without them. They're actually like the best team I think I've ever played with, honestly. It's just so nice to play with them, honestly. Also, gotta shout out my cat, Goob. Bro's a real one, always there. If you know, you know. Goob's disciples, stay woke. That's all for me.
Interesting. I know you've always shouted out your cat before. I've never heard that before though. Here as well. I guess it's a new one. I love that. Averted, do you have any shoutouts that you have?
Yes, a little more in realism here. I want to shout out, the people that come to support the Gelion. It's pronounced Gelion, by the way.
Gelion, not Gelion.
Yeah, it's.
It's
The sad thing
Gelion,
the sad thing is, you were the one who told me beforehand what the pronunciation was.
Oh,
Listen to it, and I still got it wrong. Can't believe myself.
It's all good. Anyway, so I want to shout out Toro. He's always been there. He's always been a fan of ours. Of course, Mr. Walrus in the chat. I think he was there watching along. And of course, my teammates, which I already said that. Everyone over at Torrent have been super good to us. Chrono, Astra, Noob, all those people, and Zane Star as well. What a guy! And that's it for me.
Of course, thank you so much for joining here, Averted in July. Congrats to Torrent Gelion. There we go. Got it correct for once.
There it is.
Congrats on your field sweep over with Wet Jets. Good luck in that final bracket. I'm almost certain we'll be seeing you guys again, guaranteed, because this stream will be streaming everything in that final bracket. So you'll be here again soon. For now, you get to take a little bit of time off. Enjoy the top seed going into that final bracket. Enjoy everything that buys you guys, and good luck then. For now, take care. Prepare for that final bracket. We'll see you guys again in about a week from now. So have a good rest of your evening.
Yes, sir.
You too, man. Take care.
Bird in July there of Torrent Gelion, another top tier team, confirmed here. So the Wet Jets again, they got to start in that lower bracket. For Torrent, they'll get an extra life in that first matchup. Again, still waiting on the other on Group A to finish. Again, their last match, Team Evo Academy and RX Vagabond does determine who will be first and 3rd seed in that group. Knights also guaranteed a spot, although there's a very good chance that they will also be, they could be 1st or 2nd seed. So, again, I want to stream that match. I'll see if I can get it on the stream soon enough. For now, we gotta wait until that match is confirmed when it is scheduled. For now, thank you all so much for joining the Ascent Tournament Series main stream. Again, reminder, playoffs for the Ultimate Division is May 31st, June 1st. Playoffs for the Excellence Division is June 7th and 8th. So, join us then for when we have action. For now, have a good night. The ATS stream will be going offline. We'll see you again in the near future with more Paradise Cup 3 action. Take care.